Hey everyone, it's Dennis Gray from the Rockin' and Rollin' Gray Brothers. Show number 64 of the Australian Rock Show. It's Friday the 23rd of September 2016. Today is also the official release date of the new album from Airbourne titled Breakin Outta Hell. We checked in with drummer Ryan O'Keefe recently and talked all things rock. Let's hear that interview shortly, but before we do, let's crank the new single Rivalry. Ryan, welcome to the Australian Rock Show. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Very well. Where in the world have we got you today?
Currently sitting on the Sunset Strip at an Irish pub having a cold beer.
Can't complain, mate. We kicked off this show with a new single, Rivalry. Big, thunderous sound, big chorus. This is between you and me. Was that written about anyone in particular?
Not really. I mean, it was sort of just about rivalry itself and make it a big anthem song. We've had that title kicking around for a while, and it was great to work with Bob Marlette on it. And he sort of pulled out the kind of riff vibe we were looking for. How did
that song come about?
Well, we just sort of, it was one of those songs that we had a majority of the record done, but Bob being such a great producer, he sort of said, look, we're still missing something with this record. I want a little bit more of a riff. I mean, obviously there's a heap of riffs on the record, but he wanted that kind of vibe, and Joel just nailed it in pre-production, and then the song itself just started writing itself throughout the recording process. And now I couldn't imagine the record without it. And that's what getting a good producer does, brings, he gets more out of the band and makes the record a lot more diverse and interesting.
How many songs from the new album are in the live set, and what's the crowd reaction been like to them?
Well, we've currently only been playing Breakin Outta Hell. The Rivalry, as you said, has just sort of come out, so we've got to get our heads around that one. And then, when the record comes out, it's going to be a tough one. I know everyone on the band have, In the Blood, and we're all those kind of songs, but one of the big ones I'm really looking forward to is playing It's All for Rock and Roll, as it's written about Lemmy.
Look, the record, as most people know, is called Breakin Outta Hell. It's out September 23rd, and you can get it on vinyl, which is great. There's already a buzz amongst fans online who've been waiting for a new album. Are you satisfied with how the thing turned out?
Couldn't be happier. And I'm just excited for it to come out now, not even nervous. There's nothing that we change. Really just really over the moon with it.
Let me run something past you. Look, I read an interview with you guys recently. I can't recall where, but you got asked a question about progression. For example, is there progression on the new album? Something like that, which I think is a question I find ludicrous, because what you guys do, you do so well. It's loud rock and roll. No need to overthink it. Just kick it out. Let people enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, if it isn't broken, don't fix it. Just try and put a new chassis on it or something. I don't know. It's like we've sort of been saying. If what we've done in the past is like a Jack and Coke, we hope this is more like a double Jack and Coke.
Yeah. Here's another thing I read a while back. Angry Anderson, he said something about you guys some time ago, which rings true for me. And I quote, they take their music seriously, but not themselves too seriously, which is part of the secret. It's an accurate quote, I think, which many bands should adhere to, don't you reckon?
Absolutely. We take what we do, in the intricacies of Airbourne and what we do very seriously. But we don't take ourselves seriously at all.
Speaking of angry, while I got you there, you got a favourite Rosie Tat song?
I like Scar for Life, but one we always play as soon as we finish the set. Every time we play a show is We Can't Be Beaten.
Nice. I reckon if you guys ever do an album of B-sides or that kind of thing, Tramp or Astra Wally would be my pick. I think Joel's voice would do justice to those iconic Tattoo songs.
Absolutely, that'd be great.
Mate, you guys were born in the mid-'80s. What was the first record you bought? First local band you saw live?
I did actually see Rose Tattoo come down to the Criterion Hotel in Warrnambool a long time ago. Snuck in and saw that. And I remember actually the first big show I saw when I was really little was Bob Dylan at Rod Laver. I think the first album I bought was Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. So there's a broad spectrum of metal and rock there, but yeah.
Okay, Tattoo, that may have been like early 93 in those run-up to the GNR supports from memory. But what about your favourite Australian drummers?
Paul DeMarco, once again, Tats. But I think I saw some footage of him playing recently with some rehearsals with Rose Tattoo. I'm not sure what they were rehearsing for, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to see him a lot with Pete Wells, and he was always rock solid. Let me run something past you. Do you think your career would have taken a different path if you had have been a Melbourne band? And my thinking is that being in a place like Warrnambool, kind of isolated in a place where you were immersed in loud rock and roll, it worked well for you. You know, we're going to kick the world square in the arse type of attitude, which maybe some city bands don't always have. Get a little complacent.
I think we were playing at a rock bar, which was nice, but we were playing mostly in front of a crowd that wasn't rock and roll. So as a band, from day one, it wasn't just having an exciting rock and roll show. It was trying to play rock and roll to convert on rock and rollers. And that wild converting kind of mentality sort of stuck with the live performance of every time we go out there. It's like you're trying to convert people into the rock and roll sort of thing.
What about Joel's vocals? How are they holding out? Because, he screams his lungs out every single show.
He's really going well. I know just over the years he's seen different vocal coaches and learned a lot of tricks on the road. It's not healthy to guzzle half a bottle of honey, but if it's what it takes, it's sort of what it takes. But if it works, but he's actually got it really under control. It's almost like he's able to control the beast. Which is really good to see. And I know when you hear it, it sounds like, geez, it must not last, but he's been doing it for such a long time that he's sort of got it nailed.
Mate, this is just a real quick one today. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to seeing you early in the new year. Let's close out with a song, and it's your choice. It has to be an Australian band, can be something of yours or someone who's influenced you. More Wine, Waiter Please by The Paw. Skeeny, great band. Yeah. Skeeny. For Ryan from Airbourne, that was The Paw with More Wine, Waiter Please. Lifted from their 1994 album, Who Cares? Saw that band a fair bit back in the day. Some gigs at the Prince of Wales in St Kilda in early 1992 when they were still called the Poor Boys spring to mind. Some great nights of loud rock and roll. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that interview with Ryan. The new album from Airbourne, Breakin Outta Hell, is released today. Head to iTunes, Amazon, or wherever it is you buy music online and get a hold of this album. The band are doing shows in Europe all the way into December. Airbournerock.com is the place to head to. They have some Australian shows lined up early next year, starting with January 7th at the Summer Nats Festival in Canberra. January the 13th, they're on at the Metro Theatre in Sydney. January the 14th, the Triffid in Brisbane. January 20th, Track in Melbourne. Tickets for those shows are on sale now. Folks, we better get out of here. AustralianRockShow@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at AusRockShow, AUS Rock Show. Find us on Facebook. You can visit our website at AustralianRockShow.com. All the past episodes are there, totally free. Available for you to download and listen to at a time which is convenient to you. You can also hear the Australian Rock Show, Ozrock's loudest and proudest rock and roll podcast, via iTunes, Stitcher and TuneIn. We've got a donation button on our homepage at AustralianRockShow.com. All donations are appreciated, no matter how small. It helps us to pay the bills and to keep this show free. And it also shows us that you dig what we are doing. Thanks again for listening, folks. Let's finish out with another new track from Airbourne, and you all know the drill by now. If you're listening in whilst driving, turn the volume up and roll the windows down so you can educate others. Here are Airbourne with the title track from their new album, Breakin Outta Hell. This is Dennis, out.